Today, I want to take a trip down memory lane and share some of my guitar journey with you by talking about the first 10 songs I learned on the acoustic guitar and what lessons that they taught me. Each of these songs holds a special place in my musical journey. Some of them I hardly play anymore, and some of them remain staples in my repertoire to this day. I'd love to hear what songs are part of your guitar journey too. Do you have some songs in common? What were the critical songs in your journey as a guitar player, and what did they teach you? I had a lot of fun making this video and revisiting these songs, some of which I haven't played in a really long time. So hop on your banana seat bicycle and start pedaling with me back to 1984, where some significant events were shaping the world. That was the year the first Apple Macintosh was introduced. Michael Jackson's Thriller was dominating the charts, and Ghostbusters was a box office smash. But the most significant thing of all was happening right in Queens, New York. You see, my mom had scraped together $40 to buy me my first cheap acoustic guitar from the local music store that was right by our house. Shout out to Alberto's Music for being the starting point of my musical journey. All right, enough of the long-windedness. I could hear the complainers coming out right now in the comments. Let's get to the songs. Okay, the first song. So in 1985, I'd been playing guitar for nearly a year, diligently following my teacher's instructions and making good progress. And I was growing tired of Alfred's basic guitar methods. So I'd asked my teacher to show me something cool on the acoustic guitar, and with that, he started playing this. Of course, we are talking about A Horse with No Name by the group America, and he was just using 2 fingers, and suddenly the guitar just sprung to life. Though my version didn't sound as good, I learned the importance of the touch and the feel of the right hand, and how even 2 basic little chord patterns could sound like music. It wasn't about all the complex fancy things, because here was my teacher was just doing what seemed like nothing, and the guitar came to life. This song, unlike Camptown Races and the Can-Can, taught me rhythm and right hand muting. Despite its simplicity, it gave me some essential guitar skills, and I still play it to this day. So I practiced A Horse with No Name all week, annoying my mom, annoying the neighbors, and one Sunday, I'll never forget, I came out to get the paper, and I saw my neighbor next door, and instead of saying good morning, she said la, 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 la. So apparently I was playing the song a lot. Alright, let's move on to song number 2. I had done pretty well with Horse with No Name, and at this point, I think everyone, my teacher included, thought it was getting a little long in the tooth. See how I threw that horse joke in there? And he'd seen that I kind of gotten a pretty good command of the E minor chord, and my right hand was starting to look better, and he started playing this. Of course, we're talking about Wish You Were Here by Pink Floyd. I remember thinking, how are there notes ringing? I was hearing the chords, but there was single notes ringing out, and I remember being amazed by that. And this song taught me how to not only strum the chord, but to pick out single notes within the chord. I also was fascinated by this high D and G that kept ringing out. But no matter what, you always had that on the top. And I remember telling my teacher that I thought it sounded modern, which he found very funny. Me, here I was, 10 and a half, 11 years old, talking about a song written in 1975, saying it sounded modern. And the other lesson that this song got me into was, I remember having to learn a hammer-on. And that was like mind-blowing to me. I couldn't, needless to say, I still play Wish You Were Here to this day. Song number 3. We get to the dreaded F chord, the bane of every young guitar player's existence. So my guitar skills were improving. I had finally gotten an electric guitar. That is some picture. But my small hand still struggled with bar chords, and especially the F chord, even in the first position. Like barring those bottom 2 notes was tricky for me. So I jokingly told my teacher I just have to avoid any songs with that chord. And then I heard this. Right? If she's gone, I can't go on, feeling 2 foot small. Of course, I'm talking about You've Got to Hide Your Love Away by the Beatles. You knew the Beatles were going to be in there somewhere. It wasn't centered around the F chord, but of course, you couldn't play the song without playing an F chord. The other great thing about the song is that it was in 6/8 time. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. It taught me an essential strumming pattern, that 6/8 strumming pattern, which is in so many songs. And it's the first time I'd ever played such a thing. Once I heard it, I knew no matter what, I was going to have to master that F chord. Also, it was a song that I just loved singing, and it kind of opened up my eyes to the fact that you could play the guitar and sing at the same time. Song number 4. Now remember, this is my journey, okay? It was now 1986, and a slightly rebellious young Frank was emerging. I was getting pretty good on the guitar, and it was kind of common in my neighborhood in the day to sit out on your front stoop and play guitar. And the older kids, I remember, would stop by and listen to me because I was this chubby little blonde-headed kid who was starting to kind of get a little local reputation for being a pretty good guitar player. It was a novelty. And one day one of the older kids brought his boombox over. If you don't know what a boombox is, that's what a boombox is. And asked if I could play this song, and he started playing it. Fade to Black by Metallica. That opening riff is so great, which might be why Metallica borrowed it from Pink Floyd. You know, the song Goodbye Blue Sky? Well, it was the first time I'd had to figure out a song by ear. For you younger folks, there was a time before YouTube and before Marty Schwartz.
Hey, what's up you guys? Marty Schwartz here with Marty Music.
When we had to play a record or a cassette over and over again to learn a song. The good old days. You should have seen my teacher's face the next week when he stepped into my lesson and I was all... Figuring that out on my own was not easy, and I stumbled a little bit, but my teacher was happy to help me through it. Fade to Black cemented what I already was starting to come to know, and that was that acoustic guitar not only was the coolest thing, but it wasn't just for folk music. It could fit in anywhere. Song number 5. I had to go grab my Gibson because this guitar is tuned down, and the next song is tuned down. Don't laugh. I know how you guitar players can be. By 1988, let's just say my hormones were raging, and Every Rose Has Its Thorn by Poison was my go-to song. This was the hair band era, and this song was perfect for a new guitar player like me at that age. The chords sounded modern to me as well because they had that C add 9 to that D sus. But I guess that's why they say every road has its thorn. I mean, it was just such a fun song to play and sing, and all the kids my age knew it. In 1988, too, it was a #1 Billboard hit. Our playing journey often reflects the time period we grew up in, and this simple tune still does get love if you play it at the right gig at the right time. It's just fun to play. So before dismissing it, especially if you're a beginner, ask yourself if you're dressing it up the right way. You know, you can hammer on. You know, you can do little things to it and make it kind of sound cool. Plus, this song is super easy to play and sing at the same time. Song number 6. So I think my teacher kind of decided it was time to bring me back down to planet Earth after me playing Every Rose Has Its Thorn and feed me a little bit of more guitar fruits and veggies, so to speak. And my left hand was starting to grow stronger. I was growing up and my chording had improved significantly. So it's time for a little Jimmy Page and Over the Hills and Far Away. I mean, how can you be an acoustic rock player without paying homage to Jimmy Page and his acoustic work? This song was my first introduction to pull-offs and hammer-ons to some extent. You had to have really good hand strength developing in order to pull that off. I mean, it's still kind of challenging to play that to this day. You know, you got to get your picking hands, you got to pick out the right note. The strum. You know, you got to get it all right for it to have the right attitude. And this is a classic acoustic song. You almost can't call yourself an acoustic player if you don't play it. Over the Hills and Far Away, definitely part of my acoustic journey. Time for song number 7, and we're tuned down again. And by now it was the late 80s transitioning into the 90s, and the hairband era was kind of coming to an end, but you still had a group called Extreme. And this song, when I was 16, this song was just perfect timing for me again. And it's a song called More Than Words, which the girls at my age could not resist. And I gotta say, it was worth playing, and it got a lot of attention, which I didn't mind. Everybody knows this song. It was the first time that I heard a technique like that, where you were like slapping the guitar, using the guitar as a self-accompanied instrument. And maybe because I was an only child, but that whole self-sufficiency of solo acoustic really resonated with me, especially in this song, that whole claw and slap technique. Right? This song also introduced me to playing without a pick.
I don't need this pick.
Which opened up a whole new world of guitar playing for me, which would stay with me to this day. Song number 8. Little did I know at the time, but the era of the hairband was coming to an end with the emergence of Nirvana and the Seattle grunge movement in 1991. However, this next song is not a Nirvana song. In fact, it couldn't be more opposite. So one day I had come home after school and I walked in my front door and my mom was watching this guy on PBS. And my first thought was, what's Kurt Cobain doing on channel 13? And my mom promptly corrected me saying, you idiot, that's James Taylor from 1970. My mom had a way with words. As I listened to James Taylor play Fire and Rain and heard him sing, it was like the world stopped. Seriously. I'd never heard anyone play fingerstyle guitar like that before in my whole life. And I was instantly captivated and knew I had to learn how to do that myself. I'd known the song Fire and Rain from hearing it on the radio as a kid, but I had no idea that this grungy-looking rock star was behind it. And it was a pivotal moment that sparked my interest in fingerstyle playing. This song capoed on the 3rd fret, just that whole... It was the first time I'd ever used a capo as well. Just yesterday morning, they let me know you were gone. James Taylor, Fire and Rain. Still play this one all the time. James is one of my heroes. Song number 9. So I was deep into learning Fire and Rain and a lot of other James Taylor songs as well. And my mom was really enjoying having guitar music around the house. Especially now I was starting to play the tunes that she liked. I was loving it too, and I started delving deeper into fingerstyle guitar. And that's when I stumbled upon this group, who not only had killer songs and guitar parts, but they were from Queens, the same borough in New York City where I grew up, and I still live to this day. When I first heard The Boxer, I was instantly hooked. That intro, I just was like, how the heck is he doing that? What is that? And again, you had to listen by ear and try to figure it out. And I didn't really have it right. It took me a while before a later teacher taught me how to do it properly. But it was a different style of fingerstyle playing that I hadn't encountered before. And it really was a monumental task of training my right hand to do what I needed them to do, these fingers, and to move bass lines on the left hand. Right? Suddenly these simple chords that I thought I had total command of became challenging again, forcing me to sort of relearn them. And such is the journey of a guitar player. Adding the complexity of the right hand technique to match it up with the left hand made it a lot harder to sing and play. This was not Every Rose Has Its Thorn, and I had to get that coordination of playing a more sophisticated guitar part and singing at the same time. Simon & Garfunkel, The Boxer, remains one of my go-to songs to this day, and Paul Simon is one of the greatest American songwriters, in my opinion. Don't you love the special effects, how my guitars just keep switching? Okay, the last song, song number 10, this song is from 1992. I was now 18 years old, and I'd been playing guitar now for 8 years. Man, time does fly. I guess I was a halfway decent player at the time, I don't know. And at this time, MTV still lived up to its namesake and was actually playing music. They started playing a show called Unplugged. This is where rock acts would strip down to acoustic instruments and play for the fans in this intimate setting. And it was through this show that I first encountered Eric Clapton. That was my introduction to Eric Clapton. I know it's a little bit late, but that's where I was as far as age is concerned. You know, I wasn't around for Cream. And it was the first time I heard him play Layla. What will you do when you get lonely? Just such a great song. His masterful touch. It was the first time I'd really heard a song kind of in the minor mode, you know? That was just so obviously minor. You know, it had this very minorish sound. I'd never really heard anything like that. It's in D minor, the saddest of all keys, as Nigel will tell you.
I don't know why, but it makes people weep instantly.
It was also cool to hear an acoustic guitar being played kind of with a band, you know? It was an acoustic vibe, but it wasn't the acoustic guitar by itself, which made me realize again just how versatile the acoustic guitar is. And I've been a fan ever since, let's just put it that way. So Layla. And Clapton, how could you go wrong? So there you have it, folks, the 10 songs that were most critical to my journey as an acoustic guitar player. I'd love to hear what songs were part of your acoustic journey, so please leave it down in the comments, and I will see you in the next video. Take care.